Mr. Sri Kumaran, today's President and Principal in Charge, Government Law College, Kozhikode. Srimati Vinitha Kumar, Probation Officer, Kozhikode. Sri Ashraf KT, the District Social Justice Officer, Kozhikode. Mrs. Sri Lakshmi, Convener, Center for Probation Reforms, LJRF. Mrs. Anjali P. Nair, Assistant Professor of Law, Government College, Kozhikode. Dear law students, ladies and gentlemen, Namaste to all. Indeed, I am very happy to see that the District Probation Office, Kozhikode, in association with the Government Law College and Law and Justice Research Foundation, has organized this one-week internship program on probation law reforms. That too for selected 40 law students. I believe it is a very bold initiative to give internship in such a topic, which hitherto considered as a non-significant subject. Why I am telling that it is a non-significant subject means, in the welcome speech itself, it was mentioned, even though the enactment was enacted long ago, still there is a doubt whether we are able to implement this enactment properly in the field of administration of criminal justice. In fact, this is a branch of law which is not much explored, and I believe most of us are ignorant about its application in the criminal justice system. Even in newspapers, we may hear, in such a case the accused is acquitted, or in such a case the accused is convicted. But in no case we could find a news item that an accused is let on probation, except some petty cases. Friends, we all want safe and peaceful living. It is the goal of our constitution as well. It is also the goal of our criminal legal system. The country is striving for it. In this respect, it is necessary to know the initiative of the state to keep us safe from criminals, prospective criminals, the effect of criminal activities. But the question is how they are effective, and if not effective, we have to think how to make them effective. Let us have a glance over the statistics by National Crimes Record Bureau. What I find is that in India, we know we have 130 crores of people. You know how many prisons we are having? In 2018, as per the website of National Crimes Record Bureau, in 2018, there were 1,341 prisons. Against the capacity, 117.5% of inmates were there. Similarly, in 2018, the capacity was 120.1%, and in 2020 it was 118.0%. The reason is obvious. By March 2020, the COVID pandemic invaded us all over the country, and the rate of conviction is less, and the Honorable Supreme Court directed to release certain categories of accused on parole. That may be the reason there was a slight decline. But one thing is important. In spite of that, the decrease is only 2%. In result, against the capacity of the jails, we have more prisoners. This is a reality. You might have heard in the last week, there was a news item about violence in jail in Ecuador, in which 44 inmates were died by shooting. 118 criminals escaped the jail, and an order of emergency has been declared in Ecuador. They call it as crime in emergency, whatever it may be. The reason is obvious. When rival groups are housed in jails, definitely they will indulge in all types of criminal activities in order to win over the other. That may be the reason what happened in Ecuador. I fear India is not far away from such incidents. What is happening in our jails? Can we visualize by sitting away at a safe place? Not at all possible. We are all hearing news about the drug abuse in the jail, physical abuse, sexual abuse, attack by the prisoners against the jailers, jail wardens. I had a practical experience when I was working in Kannur as Judicial First Class Magistrate. In number of incidents, jail inmates, they fought each other, and they attacked jail wardens. When I inquired about the reason is very clear. They are unable to come out. If a case is registered against them, they will be produced before the court. Therefore, in order to see their kith and kin or their political headweights, they will indulge in some criminal offenses inside the jail, and they will make a way to come out. This is happening. This is the reality which I experienced a few years back. It is stated even in the United States, about 25% of prisoners are victimized by violence such as sexual violence or physical violence. 4 to 5% of people experience such sexual violence. This is the statistics. India is not an exception to this. We are getting so many final reports with respect to the atrocities happening in the jail. As per the statistics just I referred above, in 2020, 160 instances of clashes, group clashes occurred in our jails in India. Friends, now we have to think sending up our young offenders or offenders who are capable of reformation to prisons as a deterrent way of punishment. Do you know what is the crime rate in India? The crime rate that is measured crime incidents per 1 lakh of population in India increased from 383.5 in 2018 to 383.8 in 2020. That is according to National Crime Record Bureau. Do you know what is the rate in Kerala? As per the statistics of Bureau, in Kerala, the crime rate is 1,287.7 in 2018, 1,287.7 in 2019, and 1,568.4 in 2020. I don't know. It may be due to high rate of literacy and high rate of reporting crimes than in other states, because it is abnormally on a higher side on taking into account the national average. That may be the reason. I'm not on that point. This would show that in how many cases the courts are compelled to send the prisoners to jail. I have already depicted the picture of the jail, what is happening there. Out of the above offences, where Probation of Offenders Act may not applicable, those offences may be very negligible. The rest of the offences are all minor offences. We know today it is easy to entangle with the criminal case. This criminal case, I remember once upon a time, our elders used to say, I never visited court. I never visited police station. I think they were taking it as a pride. I don't think in modern society it is possible. Because whenever a child is born, by birth itself, the child is entangled with so many legal issues. This will continue throughout the life, even on the death, even after the death. This is the beauty of legal system. Without entangling with any provisions of law, it is not possible to live in this country. Therefore, naturally, the people will involve in some violation of criminal law. No doubt about it, knowingly or unknowingly. Even in such minor offenses, it is my experience as a judicial officer for the last 25 years. And I worked purely on criminal side as magistrate for 7 years. I may say 90% of crimes are by new offenders, or accused cannot be termed as criminals in their strict sense. Most of the crimes were attributed to some unavoidable circumstances, or emotional disturbance, or on a sudden provocation, or from any temporary or permanent psychological imbalance, or they might have thought committing offense as an ultimate solution for injustice suffered by them for long. Can we point out or can we brand them as criminals? I think it is not correct. Therefore, in my experience, I may say only 10% or below 10% alone may be attributed to the so-called captioned criminals. My dear friends, my question is it necessary to keep this 90% in prison and keep them with hardcore criminals who are indulged in so many offenses as just I mentioned? I will put another question. Is it necessary to make them trained in commission of more crimes once they are released? Is it necessary to expose them to abuses, which I just mentioned above? Is it necessary to make their innocent family to suffer and make the entire family as outcast in the society? Answer to these questions lies in the probation system, which is an embodiment of reformative or restorative system of punishment. We have to think. Here arises the importance of Probation of Offenders Act and the reforms needed in us or in the system in this area. I know law students, you may take it as a subject of internship, no doubt about it. But you have a very big responsibility. What is their responsibility? We are all participants in a relay game. Today I am here as a director of the academy. After some time I may go. A new person will come. Today you are just law students. You are studying law. Tomorrow you may be an advocate, maybe a judge, maybe a legislature who is making law for our country or state, whatever it may be. Therefore, what I feel is that it is the right time to give probation in reformative system of punishment to you. And the organizers of this program have selected you. I think they should be very much proud in their attempt. I think I am not supposed to take class on Probation of Offenders Act today, since various resource persons are taking you to the pros and cons of the enactment, the merits and demerits. But for the sake of my purpose, I will quickly take you to some provisions. You see, Section 3 speaks about the power of the court to release certain offenders after admonition. This section covers cases of theft under Section 379, theft in a dwelling house 380, theft by a clerk or a servant 381 IPC, or Section 404 or Section 420 IPC, or any offense punishable with imprisonment for not more than 2 years, or with fine, or with both. Section 4 is with respect to power of the court to release certain offenders on probation on good conduct. It covers all offenses of which punishment is not with death or imprisonment for life. It is very important section. The court is empowered to stipulate conditions on the offender while releasing the offender on probation. Section 5 stipulates payment of compensation to the victim by the offenders. Section 6 intended to save young offenders below the age of 21. It is compulsory to the court to consider the report of the probation officer while releasing a person who is fitting to the particulars of Section 6. Similarly, as per Section 8, conditions imposed under Section 4 may be varied at any time depending on the report of probation officer. On failure of conditions stipulated while releasing him on probation, as per Section 9, the court is empowered to arrest the offender and after hearing, sentence him for the original offense. You see the beauty. He will not be spared. The power of the trial judge in this respect is identical to appeal or revisional courts. Don't be under the impression that this power is confined to the trial judge alone. Appeal or revisional court also empowered to apply the provisions of Probation of Offenders Act. Therefore, one can see that the offender is not completely let off. The court will have a control on him. The victim is compensated. If it is proved that this offender indulges in similar offenses or other offenses, he will be taken into custody. He is made to undergo imprisonment in the earlier case also. Therefore, the argument that he may be a danger to the society, therefore he should be confined in the prison, that argument has no value or no basis. You see the beauty of these provisions. What I feel is that this is the need of the hour. If a first offender or an offender not of a serious offense, or an offender who has committed the offense under some misconception, ignorance, or emotional imbalance, such offenders, they are not at all danger to our society. I have an experience. that in a marriage hall, an accused by name Vijayan, he snatched a chain from a child of 3 years old. He was arrested and produced before me. It was on a Sunday. I was sitting in my residence. He was produced before me. I just asked, because it is our duty to inquire about the accused, his identity, whether his relatives were informed, whether he was given legal aid, everything. We have to make inquiry. I just asked his name. He said, my name is Vijayan. Just I said one word to him, or one sentence. In Malayalam, Perile Vijayamullu, Pravurtil Vijayamillallo. Immediately he started to weeping like anything before me. Then he said, Sir, oru abaddam pattipoyi. Ini avartikilla. Enne saaru rakshikanam. And on inquiry with the police, I understood that he is an agricultural laborer. There was no incident of any crime prior to this incident. He was never indulged in any crimes. It is in Kannur district, but he is independent of any political ideology. He is doing his work. He has to maintain his parents. His mother is ailing. Father is unable to go to work due to old age. He has to maintain his wife and 2 children. For the last 1 week, he never had any work. He was invited for a marriage. In that marriage hall, near the place where the washroom was there, he just snatched a chain. My friends, please inform whether he deserves company of hardcore criminals in the prison. You know, he can be punished for 3 years imprisonment and fine, or with both. Is he deserve such a punishment? The chain is with him. It was taken by the police. You see, number of cases of this nature every day coming before us or judges. Therefore, if an opportunity is given to persons like Vijayan, by strict warning, strict conditions, definitely they will become a good citizens and assets to our nation. There lies the importance of the probation law. As you know, the object of probation is the ultimate re-establishment of the offender in the community. It affords another chance of reformation to an offender. The sole intention behind probation law is to give a person a chance of reformation which he may not get if he is sent to jail. Another objective is that it makes the possible continuation of those life habits that meet the approval of the society. Such habits include his work, meeting family obligations, and any other pursuit that has meaning to him as a person in the community. The another objective is that it avoids the stigma of jail life. You know, if a person is taken to the prison and made to be in the prison, you just imagine the situation of their family members. I remember in childhood days, one boy, he was studying in a 5th or 6th standard. He was called by others as Kallandemon, Kallandemon, because his father was arrested in a theft case and sent to prison. This is the stigma. This stigma is not only against the accused, it is against the entire family members. Am I made myself clear? This is the situation happening in this world. We cannot realize it, as I already stated, sitting in a faraway place with safety, with all protection by the parents. We may not feel it at all. What sin this child has committed? Only for the reason that he happened to be the son of a person who was taken to the prison. If Probation of Offenders Act applied to that person, there was no possibility of calling this boy as Kallandemon. Am I right? This is one of the objectives. Another objective is overcrowding in jail that creates dehumanizing conditions and criminogenic surroundings. Therefore, probation protects an individual from contaminating the influences of prison life and the inmates of prison. It can be assumed that the community has a definite interest in well-adjusted individuals who are carrying on a constructive life plan. Ultimately, financially, the probation is much less expensive than keeping convicted persons in jail or other reformatories. I remember when jatas are taken in the road, including thousands of people, my father used to say, these agricultural plots are kept vacant without cultivation. If all these persons work for one day, Kerala would have been self-reliant in the production of rice. If we engage these persons for harvest as well as for cultivation, Kerala would have been self-reliant in the production of rice or other agricultural products. Sarcastically, he used to say it. Similar is the case. You see, each human being is a resource of nation. No doubt about it. Each human individual is a resource. The potentiality, we may not measure it in any gauge. You are all, what I feel, each, the law student here, you are all a potential resource persons of tomorrow. In whatever capacity. Maybe a successful lawyer, maybe a successful judge, maybe a successful legislator. We don't know. Therefore, this value not only attached to us, it is attached to the person who is convicted of a minor offense also, who is a first offender also. He is also a resource person. His potentiality should be used for the development of our country. How it is possible? If we send him to the prison and made him to be in the company of hardcore criminals, is it possible to explore his potentiality for the development of our nation? Friends, I say it is not at all possible. Therefore, my attempt is that each and every student, even though you are students, these aspects should be in your mind each day and out. When you become a lawyer, when you become a judge, when you become a legislator, you should think about it. Why should each and every person should be sent to prison? Why can't we turn such persons into useful product for the country? Why can't we have the resource of such persons utilized for the upcoming generation? I am happy that LJRF is striving hard towards jail reforms in association with the district probation officers in Kerala, and also they are associating various law colleges. I participated in 2 of their programs. The law students are really the lawyers, judges, legislators in future. Internship in the field of probation law is a milestone towards reforming our young offenders, our new offenders. I hope this 1 week-long program will benefit our law students. I hope it will change their mindset. I hope it will change their outlook towards the crime, outlook towards the criminals. Ultimately, it will help to the safety of our society. I wish all success to this program and endeavors of LJRF in advancing the reformative system. I quote words of our legendary jurist Sri V.R. Krishna Iyer in his book Krishna Iyer Perspective in Criminology, Law and Social Change, New Delhi. Since every saint has a past and every sinner a future, never write off the man wearing the criminal attire, but remove dangerous degeneracy in him. Restore his retarded human potential by holistic healing of his fevered, fatigued, or frustrated inside, and by repairing the repressive, though hidden, injustice of the social order, which is vicariously guilty of the criminal behavior of many innocent convicts. Law must rise with life, and jurisprudence must respond to humanism. Thanks for giving an opportunity to express my views on the topic. I wish all success to our students. Thank you. Thank you one and all. Jai Hind.
Provisions ഇപ്പോൾ അതിനത്ര റിലവൻസി ഇല്ല, ബിക്കോസ് അത് അറ്റ് ദ കമൻസ്മെന്റ് ഓഫ് ദ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ വേണ്ടതാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 5 year വരെ എക്സ്റ്റെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള പ്രൊവിഷനാണ്. പിന്നെ അതിന് റിലവൻസി ഇല്ല.